Queensland Cup. Today in round 8, East Tigers meet the North Queensland Young Guns at Langlands Park, Stones Corner. And it's a beautiful day for what promises to be a really good rugby league match. And when you look at these two teams, North Queensland, of course, were the premiers last year. They're sitting second on the ladder, and the East Tigers have always been a strong team. They're sitting just outside the top 5 at the moment, and certainly a real chance of making the final series. But let's have a look at the previous round's results. A couple of weeks ago it was, when Tweed Heads beat Ipswich by 26 points to 10. South Logan 30-18 over East. Burleigh home over Toowoomba, Redcliffe a big win over Wynnum Manly, and North Queensland thrashed the Comets. And so the table sees Redcliffe still undefeated on 12. There you can see North Queensland in second place, East in 6th spot, but they're only 1 out of the 5, and will certainly regard this match as an important one for them. David Wright and Warren Boland with me in commentary. And David, after a tremendous test match last night, it's great to look forward to another good footy game.
You're right, Jerry. What a game it was last night. Test football back in the spotlight. A fantastic first half, I thought, tough as they come, and some champagne footy by Australia to finish off the second half. So international football well and truly back on the map. Speaking of internationals, the biggest news here at the Tigers this week is Darren Smith, the ex-international, couple hundred NRL games, 99 games for East, and the CEO has decided this week to part ways with the Tigers. So it's big news and a big loss for the Tigers for this season. The stage they're in at the moment, as Jerry said, they're just out of the 5, but I think they're teetering. They've had 2 losses in a row. You have a look at their season so far, 3 wins, 3 losses and a draw. They haven't had their bye yet. If they lose this afternoon, they're going to be in a spot of bother coming up with only a couple of rounds up to the end of the first round of the competition. So a lot of pressure on them, and they've got a pretty young side, especially out in the back line. They've got some teenagers in the wing positions. Both Newman and Tyrrell are teenagers. Stevenson's a young fellow, and Malone, they're both 20 years of age. Jason Bulgarelli back with East this year after a stint with the Raiders for a couple of seasons. He'll bring some experience to that back line. A very good halves pairing in Brannigan, who's a very good player from from Balmain. Brett McPherson returns to the East Tigers after a couple of years with Wynnum, and then Retchless, Tomlinson, Exton, Cantoni, Jensen and Lockyer will skip at the side. It's a pretty good outfit, but Warren, they come up against the current premiers, the Young Guns, and they started well.
They certainly have, David. They've swept all before them in 5 wins, with the one exception of a bit of a hammering at the hands of Tweed Heads at Piccabeen. That was a surprise, but they bounced back quickly from that and got their season right on track. Surprisingly, they've used 29 players already this season, the Young Guns, but to me, that's just a measure of how many choices they have. A lot of players in form to choose from. East have used 28, but on the other hand, they're trying to find a combination that will win for them. One thing for the Young Guns this week, the star-studded backline. It's experienced. It's got some big names like Josh Hannay in the side, although they have lost a couple of players up to the Cowboys. Jason Barsley at fullback. We've got Neil Sweeney dropping back from the Cowboys onto the wing for the Young Guns. Josh Hannay and Mark Henry, very talented centre pair. Jamie Frizzo on the other wing. Shane Musprat, the experienced Musprat at 5'8". Brent McConnell, former player of the year at halfback. And the front row, Robert Tanialou, Clint Amos and Ray Cashmere. It's a very good forward pack as well. Daniel Strickland, Jimmy Anderson and Scott Bolton, with Lee Coghill, a former Tiger, on the bench just to spice things up in this match.
The picturesque Langlands Park. It's the scene of our battle this afternoon between the local team, the Tigers, and this really is a tremendous suburban ground, ideal for coming along on a day like today and watching some pretty good rugby league. So as we often say each week, if you have an opportunity to go and watch your local Queensland Cup team in action, well, take advantage of it. Here come the Tigers, and they're led out by Matt Lockyer, captain of the side, brother, of course, of the Australian captain Darren Lockyer, who had such a tremendous game last night. And Matt has become a Tiger. He's been here a few years now and has been a vital cog in this team. And he'll be very, very keen to ensure that they put in a good performance against this North Queensland Young Guns team that really is a pretty impressive lineup.
Very impressive it is, Jerry, led by this man here, Daniel Strickland. 26 Strickland he is. He originally a Wynnum junior. He's been with the Cowboys outfit for the last few years. This is a very good side. They're the current premiers. This man there, Daniel Strickland, a very good game in the grand final. Got about half the squad that played in last year's grand final when they defeated Burleigh, ultimately by a big score. As Jerry and Warren have said, they've been in good form. Jason Barsley playing his 100th Queensland Cup game. He actually returns to Langlands Park. He was a Tiger here for a number of years. Been a bit of a journeyman, Jason Barsley. Very good player at a couple of games last year for the Cowboys. This is a very good Cowboys side. I understand last weekend when they gave the Comets a touch-up, it could have been anything at half-time. Brenton Bowen, who will play with the Cowboys tonight, actually, I think, scored 4 tries in that match. He could have scored more. Michael Wise, the referee for today.
Stay behind the kick.
Yes. And off we go. Lockyer kicking off so that the young guns will have the first taste of the ball, and they'll use their big man Ray Cashmere to crash it forward. Going to ground just outside his own 10-metre mark, his own 10-metre line. There on the short side, again, a strong run this time from Daniel Strickland. He's a very experienced player as well. And now the other front rower, Clint Amos. Just look at those couple of hit-ups that they've had so far, and you realise the strength and the power of this North Queensland Young Guns team. There's not only the athletic fitness, but also, of course, plenty of skill. A nice turn of the ball back inside to Scott Bolton, who takes the tackle on the halfway. Shane Muspratt, of course, sending that pass to him. Now you'll expect the kick from Brent McConnell, and he's managed to pick the gap, although Kevin Stevenson is onto it pretty quickly. Down on the sideline, what a great day to be on the sideline, Warren Boland.
It is, it's magnificent, Jerry. A little warm for the players. I guess temperature in the mid-20s, it's okay, but warmish. The surface is absolutely magnificent and almost no breeze.
Pretty determined defence here from the young guns to try and ensure that they keep the Tigers well and truly contained in their territory. Marcus Jensen to play the ball. The dummy half, Marty Allen, going for a bit of a dart, but he managed to get that pass away. So Marty Allen again. It's Trevor Exton who took that ball forward. And now the kick from fairly deep in their own territory, but Jason Barsley has time, although allowing it to bounce a couple of times allows the runners to get through on him.
Yeah, pretty good chase, but it was a good kick too, as you say, Jerry. That second bounce cost Barsley precious seconds and distance. It's still a safe conclusion by both sides to their sets of 6. See how the dummy half works so well in the modern game. So this time, the big fellow in Cashmere signed from the West Tigers, so the Cowboys wouldn't have signed him without the eye for the future, as they have with Robert Tanalou. Was with the Melbourne Storm outfit a couple of seasons ago. They've got also big hope for Tanalou. Muspratt, who was the man of the match in the grand final last year, will play it. Up this time to Brent McConnell, I should say, back there to the young fellow in Stevenson. Takes it on the full in his own in-goal area. Only 20 years of age is Kev Stevenson.
Well taken by Stevenson. It was high from McConnell. Gave his team plenty of time to get through on it. It wasn't a bad bomb, even though it did come down and was taken safely in the end goal.
Tigers to work their way out of their own territory. Those sides playing with a fair degree of care. Tomlinson works a little blindside play with Jensen. Lockyer on his outside, but again, they're not trying to do anything silly either side. Fairly controlled start. Steele Retchless, famous name that is in Brisbane Rugby League. Mick Retchless played many a game for Valleys and won many a premiership as well. Using a second man play up there to Stevenson. Muspratt allows it all to happen and just closes him out.
Steele Retchless himself has been around a long time, hasn't he?
He has. About 34, Steele Retchless. He's been a bit of a nomad himself. He's spent a fair bit of time playing English League as well. Was with Ipswich last year. This time Brannigan steps back on the inside. So another successful completion to the set of 6.
And kicked it over the head of Barsley. That was pretty good work from Brannigan. He adjusted as the chasers came through to him, moved to his left and planted it over the fullback's head.
Got a wrap on this Luke Brannigan, so it'll be interesting to see how he controls the play today.
Mark Henry with the offload. He's taking the tackle just outside his own 20, and that's Jamie Frizzo. Pretty determined defence here from the Tigers. Can they put in a good set of 6 in defence and try and contain the young guns? Well, it's not an easy job, but that's exactly what they would have been looking for. The mistake coming from the young guns, and that gives the Tigers, they get a penalty, not just a scrum, but they'll be able to start their set well and truly down deep in the young guns territory.
Rushing defence initially by Jason Bulgarelli put pressure on all passes and catches, and Muspratt then couldn't take the ball. So a great chance now for the Tigers.
Strickland was under pressure. He made the mistake of trying to get the pass away. Once you're under pressure and in an awkward position to pass, one mistake leads to another, and now the Cowboys have got it back. Hannay offloads to Tanialu.
Yeah, and that's taken away all the good work that the Tigers did to get deep down there. And a mistake coming early in this set for them. We saw the head-to-head between these two teams. They've each won 5 games in the 10 clashes between them in Queensland Cup history. So one of them will go in front, unless, of course, it finishes as a draw. But the Young Guns have quickly made it to the halfway. Will this really hurt the Tigers if the Young Guns come up with a try? Well, that's not going to help the Young Guns. The knock-on from them. And so the Tigers will have the scrum. So a couple of mistakes coming from both teams early in this match, and I'm sure that both coaches will be pretty keen to ensure they cut those out. As far as for and against are concerned for these two teams, you can see that North Queensland has been doing plenty of attacking, 242 points for, only 160 against, whereas East have been just on the positive side, +8. As far as points scored, opposed to points against. Donald Malone caught on the halfway for the Tigers. Marty Allen is the dummy half. Had a partner there, but he decided that he could see just a bit of a gap there, and he did well, Allen, as well, to get through there and make some good territory for them. This is Cantoni now, across the 30. Allen was looking across to his left, but he's going to go open side. McPherson keeping it going. And further afield now, chance out wide for Malone, and he's tackled 25 metres out. Playing it back inside now to Lockyer. Lockyer's dummy didn't quite come off because he ran straight into Robert Tanalou. Guess if you're going to dummy and straighten up, that's not what you want to see happen. But almost a chance there for Brett McPherson as he scored it.
Offside, I think.
Well, yeah, penalty going to the Young Guns.
Offside.
Offside. He's got the penalty actually where the ball landed. Even though it was an offside play. Nice kick it was. This is the lead-up ruck. That's Lockyer taking the tackle. Tomlinson, the number, not the Tomlinson, I should say, Brannigan, the number 6 on this right-hand side. Nice little kick it was. But there's McPherson coming through. Considered to be in front of the kicker, and probably was from that angle. Well, talk about in front. That looked like the forward pass. Robert Tanalou brings it up to the halfway line. Baseball through to McConnell. Musprat turns it back on the inside to Cashmere. He's a big lad. He's young Cashmere, Ray Cashmere. Musprat working the far side. Up there to Strickland. Can't get through. Gets it to the 40, but drags again. He should be able to. He'll have no markers if he can get up quickly here. Here's a good chance to run out of dummy half. Amos does exactly that. Works it there to beautifully back on the inside to Barsley. They spotted the weakness straight up the middle of the ruck. Barsley through. He'll go all the way. That's a great try, that up the middle of the ruck. It all came because the markers were down. Amos spotted it, ran out of dummy half. Musprat supported. Then he had some really quick hands back on the inside to Barsley, who still had to beat the young fullback in Stevenson. That's a fine try. Spot a weakness, execute.
Absolutely brilliantly done. And watch the work here of Musprat. He takes the ball and he could see Barsley was flying on his inside. So he just had to flick it down to him. And Barsley was through the opening and away he went for a tremendous try. That's good football. It's bright thinking, clever thinking from several players involved there, but especially Musprat and Barsley to time his run to perfection. He suspected there was a chance there. He accelerated through the gap, and Musprat could see him coming, and beautiful offload. Ideal start for the Young Guns. Now Josh Hannay, what a man to have kicking the goals for you. So much experience with the Cowboys themselves. Put it through, so it's 6-0 in favour of the North Queensland Young Guns.
In a previous set, you may have seen Jason Barsley loom up, running straight down the middle of the ruck. He didn't get the ball on that occasion, but he's sniffing down the middle, and it's lovely work, isn't it, from Amos and Musprat. And here comes Barsley, steps to his left, and then they got the fullback Stevenson going the wrong way, steps back off his right foot, over for a great try. Good start. Came out of nothing, really. The Young Guns haven't been on top. In fact, there was only a minute or so ago that we saw East have the no try against McPherson at the other end.
Well, we're saying about will that mistake by the Tigers after they had a golden opportunity cost them? And the answer is yes. It's cost them 6 points with a converted try for the Young Guns early in this game. And essentially, given the fact that they're taking on the Young Guns, the Tigers really need to stay well and truly in this battle. They can't allow them to put a whole pile of points on them. McConnell is caught just outside his own 20. as the young guns start to work it forward. Muspratt again after setting up that previous try, finding Scott Bolton, and they keep it alive too on that far side. That's Frizzo, and Jamie Frizzo is able to get the pass away, and here's a great chance now for Josh Hannay. He's very close to the touchline and close to the line, and brought down just 5 metres short. The young guns now, McConnell back inside, try I think to Frizzo. I think it's Jamie Frizzo has been able to get through and score the try, and now it's 10-0, and the young guns are firing.
Yeah, trouble here for the Tigers. They were breached down the right-hand side from about 70 metres out. Frizzo it was who went down the outside, gave it to Hannay. There's the pass back on the inside to Josh Hannay, and he gets tackled then by the fullback in Stevenson. Good quick play the ball. Interesting that McConnell decided to put it back on the inside. They could have scored this anywhere. The Tigers were in disarray. I thought by going back on the inside, he might have gone into the middle of the pack, but there was still pretty sparse defence in that area. McConnell knew what he was doing, and the defence couldn't even close out around the middle of the ruck after a big bust. Normally you'll see a couple of dummy runners go into the middle there just to hold whatever defence is around, and then fire it out on the outside into open space. But the young guns knew what they were doing, and the stories you hear about them, about being a try-scoring machine, this is at least showing up at the moment with Josh Hannay. Actually wanted this kid to play ARL at 16 years of age. He ultimately got blocked from playing because he was too young, Josh Hannay. He's had a great career, and he's just biding his time in the Queensland Cup. Wants a chance. Oh, he's missed it. He's hit the upright, and they've got a 10-point lead.
Well, that double break down that right-hand side, and Frizzo sending Hannay away. And then, as you said, maybe McConnell got a call from Frizzo back inside that he could see the hole. McConnell reacted well one way or the other. He knew exactly what he was doing. And Frizzo with the pass to send Hannay away, and then receives the ball to score the try.
So 10-0, and the young guns looking somewhat ominous at the moment. Frizzo having scored the try, very much involved again, running that ball forward. He's a fair size of a winger as well, Frizzo, and even though there was a lot of traffic on that far side, how do you run into them? He had the strength and power to get through them anyway.
It's interesting, when Hannay was racing down the field there, Bulgarelli was trying to catch him but couldn't from behind. And then I thought Hannay just slowed up a little. He was trying to position the man inside, but Lockyer came across and blocked the pass in part that way, and Hannay was smart enough to take the tackle.
McConnell now the kick from inside his 40. This is an interesting looking kick if it gets near the touchline, but it will be picked up by Stevenson. So Kevin Stevenson caught on his own 20-metre line.
Tigers now to work it out of their own territory. They'll need to get a bit of consistent footy going here. The young guns have had the upper hand for the last 5 minutes, and they've capitalised through that as well. Tigers work down this right-hand side through Malone. Donald Malone, he's only 20 years of age as well. There's plenty of youth in that three-quarter line, with the exception of Jason Bulgarelli. And I don't think you mind me saying that he's the most youthful player, nor is this fella. Still Retchless. Got the balance. The Tigers have got plenty of experience from 6 through to 13. Brannigan, has he put the right weight on this? No, it just floated on him a touch. It's gone out on the full, so the Tigers have put themselves back under more pressure, and the young guns have just decided can capitalise.
Another aspect of that kick is that he was just outside the 40-metre line. Don't know how much he was aware of it, but he certainly had the depth to make it a 40-20 had it have landed inside, but he was just out with both estimations, out as far as the 40 was concerned. And now here's Frizzo again.
Well, they're making breaks almost at will here, the young guns. This defence has got to tighten up as they work down a blind side. Nicely through Amos again. He's a good dummy half. Clint Amos, good quick play the ball. Oh, was that a knock on?
No, I don't think so.
He's got away with, yes it was.
I thought there was interference from East in this play, the ball.
Might have been two, but I think...
Accidental, but caused the error. Let's have a look here.
Still Retchless, his foot.
It's Retchless.
That's right, yeah, it wasn't actually knocked on by the young guns.
No wonder Frizzo was upset.
Yep, touching on the far side, actually made the call in the end, I think.
What a let-off.
Big let-off, because there were 6 points written all over that play upcoming. Now the Tigers, well, they're just got to settle down. They're a good side, the Tigers, but they're yet to play any good football.
It's interesting, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying we've got two former players of the year on the field, now playing with different clubs, opposing each other today. Ben McConnell, when he was playing with Burleigh Heads, player of the year, and then Jason Bucarelli when he was playing with West.
Yeah, so there's plenty of talent out here. Both guys have been around for a little while, and some great kids coming through. The Tigers through Trevor Exton. He's got plenty of experience as well. Coming hard, Tomlinson. He's been around for a while. Still Wrestlers keeps it alive, puts it up there to Lockyer. Good dash, but it was shut down pretty quickly. Good tackle by Tanaloo. To work down the blind side. McPherson, he'll be enjoying himself back in Tigers colours. He's got the second highest number of Queensland Cup games ever. Brett Ferguson getting up into the 190s, so been around for a while. This time, Neil Sweeney, who spent the whole year with the Cowboys. Oh, he's lost that. Was it stripped? Yes, it was. In with a few headaches at the moment. Not one brought about by any hard tackling would be the coach of the Tigers. With Michael Booth, he's certainly in a spot of bother there, Sweeney. There's Boothie.
It looked as if Sweeney tried to get rid of the ball, fearing he was going to be upended to me. I don't know whether it was actually stripped. Maybe the penalty was it for lifting or for stripping?
Might have been the latter. Either way, they still get the penalty and go straight on the attack again, the Young Guns.
And great chance for them to score another try, leading by 10 points to nil with 24 minutes to go to half-time. Clint Amos fighting McConnell. McConnell had Tanaloo going at the angle. He's kept it alive nicely as well to Sweeney. Sweeney caught just inside that 20-metre line. Clint Amos. Got a couple of options here, but McConnell now. McConnell stepping beautifully. Can he go all the way himself? Yes! McConnell, that was too easy. This defence from the Tigers is just not Tigerish enough. And they're not going to stop the Young Guns, especially with McConnell. That was too easy.
Well, Warren just mentioned we've got two players of the year here. Brett McConnell is one of those who was with Burleigh at the time. Stepped straight through. A bit of footwork. Too easy past Wrestlers. They didn't close out the inside Exton. And then the fullback Stevenson didn't come up at him. You've got to come up. If a bloke breaks the line like that, you've got to be rushing at him as quickly as he's coming to you. You've got to cut down his time and space. And McConnell had the time to do what he wanted to do. Let's have a look at it. Between the two front rowers, bit of a dummy, not a closeout on the inside. And then Stevenson got caught going crossfield instead of coming up and cutting down the options that and the time that McConnell had. Well, this could be a cricket score unless the Tigers get their act into gear. Because this fella can kick a goal as well. Had some phenomenal consecutive streak going there a couple of seasons ago. In excess of the 20 goals in a row, I think. And he's kicked another one straight down the middle. That's a very handy lead, 16-0.
A fine individual try, but as you point out, the defence poor here by East. A halfback can be expected to step a front rower in Wretchless, as mobile as he is, but you have got to be covering on the inside. And Exton didn't get across quickly enough. And McConnell scores the try, and I guess he hasn't quite had the run towards the top level that he would have liked in joining the Young Guns. He's been camped behind the likes of Thurston and Nathan Feen when he was there, and then the Cowboys bought Brett Furman, and he just hasn't been able to break into the big time, and I'm sure it'd be frustrating him.
Oh, the Young Guns with a 16-0 lead in just 17 minutes. Makes you wonder what they might be able to score in this game. And now they're making ground quite comfortably as well. Clint Amos caught on the halfway. Jamie Tomlinson coming up with the tackles. Scott Bolton now. Each tackle, they make good ground. Big Robert Tanaloo was kept out, and Musprat fires the long pass out wide to Henry, who did well to hold on to the ball. Into the open goes Henry, but he's into touch.
He backed himself there, Henry. He's a signing from the Central Queensland Comets. They get a big rap on this young kid, Mark Henry. I say the Cowboys don't buy youth unless they think they can make a beautiful fend initially. And he pinned his ears back. He just thought he might have the pace. Instead, the cover defence was good this time. He lost it all. He tried to throw it back on the inside, but he realised he was in a spot of bother. That's awareness for you. But I don't mind a guy backing himself. You get knocked out going for the corner, that's okay. It's those wingers who get knocked out 90 metres from the try line, Warren. That's the ones that worry me.
I bet it does. Probably worries them too.
It does. But the Cowboys, or I should say the Young Guns, they're doing it too easy at the moment. They're making breaks all over the park. Marcus Jensen, big man up the middle. Let's see if the Tigers can just put anything together at all. Would be nice. Luke Brannigan, little 3-on-3, he had to create something to make anything of that, but couldn't. Donald Malone runs out of dummy half, does it pretty tidily too, Malone. Again, there's plenty of young kids with wraps on him, and this is another one. Only a 20-year-old, Malone. Brannigan will hoist and hope. Could it land? Yes, it's going to land, so there's a chance. But instead, even the young guns get a hold of that through Frizzo. Frizzo beats one on the outside, steps back on the inside, beats another. Did he lose that? No, just managed to hang on to it. The attention of young David Tyrrell. Number 5 on the far side. Tyrrell, the youngest player ever to make his debut. Last week it was for the Tigers in their whole time. Not just Queensland Cup, youngest player ever. What a great effort. Beautiful pass back on the inside to Big Tanaloo. They're busting up the middle at will. Robert Tanaloo with a bit of pace. Tries to steamroll the fullback. Stevenson does well to at least block him, but he's down. Stevenson's in trouble. A penalty will go here to the young guns, but Stevenson, well, he put his body on the line, the kid.
And it must have been a frightening sight. Big Robert Tanaloo in full cry.
He probably couldn't get out of the road of him because Tanaloo lined him up, dropped everything down and into him. And it's pretty lonely out the back there. Either making tackles or bringing the ball back. The toughest positions in the game now, fullback. Might sound a bit funny, but you've got a lot of territory between attack and defence. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a big collision. We saw that last night. You may as well have a target on you, the fullback these days.
Well, he went in with a shoulder. He seemed to do everything right, but it was Tanaloo, as you said, David, just coming down and putting everything, his full body into him. Made it very difficult to get his arms around it.
Tried the front rower's sidestep.
They are going for the try rather than taking an easy 2 points, and why wouldn't you? They've got the Tigers on the run.
Great chance again, Daniel Strickland. And that's Cashmere now, very close to the line, only 5 metres out. Maybe a chance this time. Nice spinning in the tackle. Here he goes again, Tanaloo. He's almost there, just 1 or 2 metres short. Musprat dropped it.
Play on it, here's Lockyer. Can he get the ball on the run through? Beautiful pick up, Lockyer. Cut down by Barsley. Good quick play the ball. Only half the defence is back. Malone's got to get away from the markers. Get away from there, son. Gee whiz, if you make a break like that, you don't run into the 2 nearest defenders. Up there to McPherson. Out to Bulgarelli. The defence now reset. Lockyer recovering on his haunches on the 40-metre line, and a penalty here will go to the Tigers with one of their few opportunities to go on the attack. The ball was knocked on by Musprat, and then Lockyer swept onto it. Beautiful pick-up by the initial kick, and then to pick up at pace, players screaming down on him. Barsley made the tackle. First thing then, there's only 2 blokes who can tackle you, basically, the 2 markers at that stage. And unfortunately, Malone tried to beat both of them.
Quick thinking by Lockyer because a number of the young guns had stopped. They were just waiting for the whistle to blow.
Tigers now, Exton. Can they do anything in attack? Tomlinson with hands, palms in the air. That says it all. They don't really know what the options are. Tomlinson, a late inclusion into the side. Meredith now to play it on the 20-metre line. Brannigan down a blindside up there to McPherson. Pass up then to was it Stevenson?
Yes.
Stevenson coming from the back, so he's recovered. Brannigan face ball out to Lockyer. If he could have popped it, it would have been interesting. Couldn't get it, couldn't turn and get it out to Jensen. They want to hit this right-hand side. The defence has split pretty well. Jensen, marking past to nobody. Knocked on, I think. Knocked on by Malone as they tried to flick the impossible pass.
Yeah, I don't know that it wasn't a... Marcus Jensen did reasonably in getting that pass back. He was aware that one of his players was there, but unfortunately it's gone straight to his toes, which made it very difficult to pick up.
Tight at east, I want you tight.
A few times Malone has handled the ball. He's looked very quick on his feet. If they could give him a little bit of space, he could be dangerous.
That's it, there's a tunnel, let's go. 2 hands.
Well, the Tigers are down there. It's the first time they've been down there for a long, long time. Can they stay there? Important set of 6 in defence for them now. See if they can come up with something as McConnell bends the ball across there to Ray Cashmere. Cashmere still deep in his own territory. Musprat looking for options, and he always has plenty. That's the big thing about this young Guns
High
side.
shot.
No, it
Strickland
doesn't matter.
caught high.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Person it was who wrapped him around the
Still
neck.
high.
Person, I think, complained to say he was on his way down. He made sure he was on his way down. The grapple tackle in the end. The Young Guns will continue their charge.
Tigers didn't need that. They've just applied some pressure to the Young Guns, and now a penalty concedes all that territory.
Must be a very strong territorial advantage to the Young Guns. That must be 65-70% we've played down this end of the park.
Hands away.
Out of dummy half again, Amos. Can't get away this time, but had the upper body through. Strickland will fulfil the dummy half role. McConnell back on the inside there to Ben Lowe.
Good
Driven back. Keeps it alive up to Barsley. Barsley searching across the face, run up to Bolton. Bolton looks for support initially, but decides that everyone's covered. Barsley will work the dummy half role. Musprat's going to work a blind side. Better defence by the Tigers.
We're just going to say that this is how it has to be if you're going to stop this marauding Young Guns team. But the penalty's not going to help the Tigers.
This will test their defence again.
Marcus Jensen was one of the players in that strong tackle we saw a couple of moments ago.
This time Ben Lowe inside the 10 metres. They've been very dangerous when given opportunity. The Young Guns, you'd have to think they're a good chance to go in here again. McConnell, second man play up to Barsley, bit of space, nice play it was too. Fires the pass out through Hannay, out there to Frizzo. Frizzo, good cover defence, but I think Frizzo's in. He's a big man who was taken up and held high initially, but then his momentum was able to get to ground. Nice little second man play here. It was actually two dummy runners. Found Barsley in space. You want to put your good players in space. Hannay knew what to do. Flick it on to Frizzo. And he also knew what to do. Score the try.
Yeah, they had so many options here. McConnell flicking it out and then good quick hands out to Frizzo. There was still a bit of work to be done for Frizzo. And good attempt by his opposite winger, David Tyrrell, to try and he got in underneath the ball and lifted him in turn. Here's McConnell's pass. Barsley joining in that back line. Good quick hands through Hannay and looking after Frizzo. And there, just watching that effort of David Tyrrell, it was probably always going to be a try. But at least he tried to prevent it. Whereas Jamie Frizzo, scoring his second try of the day, is having an excellent game. I was going to say earlier, I was commenting on his size, but in a high ball there, in a battle for it with Brett McPherson, there was just no battle because the height of Frizzo made it easy for him to grab it over the top of McPherson.
With a comment last week about the Broncos scoring tries off the same play. Well, that's exactly the same play again. The Broncos haven't got a mortgage on it. Very hard to defend against. Two dummy runners coming in, deep man floating outside. Will create extras normally. And a beautiful kick. No, he's hooked it. Just hooked it to the side. Still 20-0.
And Frizzo finishing it off, the 21-year-old from Cairns Junior. But this is a well worked. McConnell draws in. Barsley actually draws in Bulgarelli, creates 2-on-1. And Hannay did well to twist his body. He was starting to drift back in, had to twist his body to make sure the pass went backwards to his unmarked winger. Made sure that pass didn't float forward. Excellent play by the centre and winger combining.
You'd have to wonder, Jerry, with Darren Smith leaving the club this week, that it'd have to be disruptive, obviously to the club itself, but also to the players. So well, there's still a little bit of shock amongst all concerned, because they certainly haven't been intense, the Tigers, this afternoon at all. They need to lift their game dramatically.
Well, you were saying as well how they were, suspected that they might have had the staggers, and there's been every indication today that things are not going well for them at this stage anyway. But then again, you've got to give some credit to the team they're playing. They are a very, very good football team, the Young Guns.
Current premiers, the Young Guns, and they're showing why.
Absolutely. Here they go again. Already they're in the Tigers' territory, but they have come up with a mistake. So that the Tigers will get the scrum feed just short of the halfway. A chance for them to still try and find something in attack. The unfortunate thing for them is that the Young Guns' defence is pretty solid as well.
The penalties also going against the Tigers, 2 in a row in the lead up to that try. They can't afford that.
No, you're not packed
Luke
properly.
Brannigan to feed the scrum.
Bend your backs. Put that foot in, prop. Put that foot in a bit. Put it in.
Wondering is Brett
That's it. There's your
McPherson
tunnel.
there?
Go,
Out
2
there.
hands. Out.
Standing off the ruck there.
Okay,
Scrum.
yeah, with the ball now, feeding Bulgarelli. Bulgarelli to play it just 5 from halfway. Kev Stevenson up a dummy half, and they've made it to the halfway mark, but they're just not looking overly organised at the moment, the Tigers, and a little bit of a juggle of the ball there as Brannigan looks and finds runners outside. This is Mark Meredith on for them and kept alive 2 to Malone. So they're into the young guns territory. Can they get further? Can they find a hole somewhere? McPherson, look at that. It just closes down all the time. Clint Amos doing some tremendous tackling, and now another penalty against them.
His urgency to get up to play the ball, he's got him for not standing up to play it.
Yeah, no, you did. You had hands all over you.
I didn't notice it in the run of play either. Yeah, that's good enough, surely.
That's ridiculous, that penalty. He has said that there were still hands all over him from Clint Amos of Young Guns. Well, big deal. The hands were on top of his back as he got to his feet, played the ball. That is ridiculous. If there's one thing East needed, it was a quick play the ball. They'd been very slow. McPherson tried to do something about it. He did it correctly, and now they're on their heels again. And I hate it when referees invent penalties.
And now the Young Guns have another great chance. Ben Lowe is over. He scored. At least they'll have a look.
Go to the video. Was he held up at the very last? I doubt it. Ben Lowe was on a surge. Paper-thin defence. Think about the paper Tigers. Well, we've just seen a couple of them then. Ben Lowe didn't do anything fancy at all. He just strode through as he got it down. Good effort by Stevenson in the end, but he didn't prevent him from grounding it. He just went over the top. Ben Lowe has been around for quite a while. Good player. He's been out suspended for an extended period of time.
9 weeks.
So he's fresh, if nothing else, and he's shown just how fresh he is there, striding through the defence. There's the extra try, and the Young Guns 5 tries in this first half, and there's been a couple of easy ones, but none more easy than that. I don't recall anything special happening here. One dummy runner, straight to Lowe. Oh dear, oh dear. That's terrible defence, that. And Ben Lowe will not score an easier try. Probably dreamt about scoring a few tries in the last 9 weeks. Tomlinson was one on the outside. Poor old fullback. Well, he just they left it to him basically to do his best.
He'll be having nightmares tonight, Kevin Stevenson. That's for sure.
Like McPherson might have been the other man on the other side. So 2 little men he went between Tomlinson and McPherson. And Hannay, well, he'll put this straight between the sticks. 26-0.
Well, it was terrible defence. There's no doubt. You can't excuse that defence, but they should never have been tackling on their own line. That penalty back upfield was totally, well, just not warranted in any shape or form. I was watching the play because I had been watching the Tigers slow play the balls and about to comment on that, and then I saw McPherson bounce to his feet, and I thought that's the way to do it. Get to your feet, quick play the ball, because that is something the Tigers have lacked. There's no pace in their game. Jerry said there's disorganisation, and part of that is coming from the slow play the ball. McPherson tried to do something about it. The referee has come up with a very strange interpretation. Missed tackles. East have missed 19, and a few of them have been very, very ordinary.
And a lot of them have led to tries. 26-0. And that's with 9 minutes to go until the half-time break, so that the Young Guns pretty well virtually have this game wrapped up, and you just can't see the Tigers, the way they're playing, getting into this game at all. The big question is whether or not they'll score any points at all. Certainly haven't shown anything in attack that would give you any confidence that they can even do that. In the meantime, the Young Guns keep the ball moving, and they've been doing it so very effectively all day. Jimmy Anderson, well, is able to keep it alive. Good work by McConnell again here, but determined defence this time. And 2 of the experienced men in Lockyer and Bugarelli really getting in, and was Donald Malone actually, not Bugarelli, on that side of the field. Ball's left behind, play on, almost in touch. Oh, and now it's kicked into touch actually by Newman, so that the Young Guns should get the ball. They'll get the scrum.
Yeah, kicked it actually out on the full, so it'll come back to where he actually kicked the ball. And Exton it was against his old club. That was play on. Sweeney did well to try and keep it in the field play. Then he actually just pushed it back, knowing he was headed for touch, hoping one of his own teammates would get there. A kick by Newman, only an 18-year-old player as well. He was the
seconds get around
youngest
each other,
player as of last year to make the debut for the Tigers.
Put your hands down,
youth on the flanks.
2 hands for you.
But no excuse for the work or lack of it in defence from the Tigers. You've really got to you got to aim up. This game will expose you badly if you're not mentally ready to play. If you play soft, you'll get hammered. You can't compete in this game and play soft. Right on the halfway line now. The Young Guns have just been in total control. A little grubber kick through here. Will the Tigers even be urgent enough to get on that? Been knocked on by the Young Guns. Nice little grubber kick. It might have been Strickland. They're all looking shocked about, well, who knocked that on? There's a little, no, it was Hannay who put the little grubber kick through. Doesn't seem to be any hand anywhere near that. Could have well been play on. Bit of a tangled mess there.
Well, the Tigers need the break anyway. They need something to go their way.
Get arms over
They need the break. They need half-time break, Oranges.
And they need the feed. And they need to hold on to the ball.
2 hands for you.
Because you've got to remember, the Young Guns have come into this game without Brenton Bowen, who scored 4 tries for them last week, without Ashley Graham, promoted to the Cowboys, and also Steve Southern, who's a tough second rower. So they had, he should have thought it was going to be a bit easier today. It's not proving to be.
I reckon Brent Bowen could have had 5 tries in the first half last week. He was on fire. I hope he's on fire for the Cowboys tonight.
Donald Malone playing it just short of halfway. Now Brannigan involved, and that's Mark Meredith. And keeping it alive too with Stevenson, despite having huge men running over the top of him, is still able to play some footy with the ball. Alec Farter is caught about 21 metres out. McPherson up a dummy half. He'd like to keep this going now. Lockyer. Brannigan stepping nicely back inside, keeping it alive to Lockyer. Can they counter-attack on the other side? Oh, yeah, play on. And Bugarelli is caught with the ball, only 10 metres short of the line. There's 6 to go as well.
I don't think so, yes.
He's indicating last tackle, I think. Hand over.
That's interesting. I thought there might have been an effort to play at that kick to block it.
The ball just there.
The referee didn't think so.
Right,
It
no,
could have
wide to
been
the
very
mark of the
interesting.
square.
Probably the best chance of all for the Tigers had that been the case. Alec Farter was the one who tried to put the kick through. And you might notice these Tigers are wearing black armbands today in memory of a very unfortunate death of one of the baby Broncos from a couple of seasons ago, T. Leveu. He was a very good mate of Alec Farter. So these Tigers, in memory of a very good young player in T. Leveu.
Tragic circumstances as well.
Yes, it was. Now the Tigers, let's see if they can at least hold in these last 4.5 minutes. There's the 5th tackle. So, well, you couldn't have a much worse first half. Lockyer initially blowing up, but he's going to wander across and have a listen, shaking his head. Let's see what's got to be said.
Keep coming. Stand up, please.
Meredith as well.
There was no call of dominant tackle. I've called move. You haven't moved. You just lay there.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, but you're not moving. As soon as tackle's affected, you've got to move. Thank you. Penalty sketch. If we keep going, we're going to lose players.
That's a tough, well, a tough time to cop a penalty, obviously. Tell you what, though, that Mark Meredith, he's popped a couple of very nice balls, the number 17. So he's got a bit of ability in attack. They haven't put that out. They have not put it out. Newman takes it on the full. No, it's not Newman, it's Tyrrell over that side.
Looked good too, didn't he, Tyrrell? And looks good running with the ball.
Meredith can't wait to get into this game. There he goes. He just wants to be part of this game. He's frustrated at the scoreline. He wants to get the ball and he wants to take him on.
Frustrated with the referee as well, said he couldn't hear him.
He nearly gave away another one with a bad play the ball.
Exactly, yes. He wasn't quite aiming the right direction as he played it, but he got away with it. So the Tigers, have they found a little bit of Tiger in their tank? No. They've knocked it on the halfway.
Not a good pass. The pass was just behind the player.
Yeah, Alec Farter was the one who tried to put that second man play on, wearing the number 10, but I assume he's not playing front row. Maybe he is.
The Tigers are showing some fight, but they are playing it in their own half the whole time due to their mistakes and penalties.
Tigers bench there, and they all look very concerned. They've had a very poor first half. Hannay throws a bit of a dummy, and Jinky loses it. Was it backwards? Play on. Well, very fortunate there. It was very clumsy play. Barsley gets a hold of it. And Lockyer and a couple of others get a hold of Barsley.
Worked down a blind side. Nice play up to Murphy. Didn't have a lot of room to move, but new little dummy half and Scott Smith looked quite sharp. There's a nice little pass to McConnell. McConnell, not a particularly good ball up there to Lee Cobble. Third tackle. Smith at dummy half. Straight up this time to Amos. To McConnell. He danced his way through a little bit earlier for a try.
You could see that there was a gap there, but he couldn't quite get through at that time.
Musprat confronted.
Much better defence this set from the Tigers.
Okay, get ready to catch this one. McConnell, dummy. Little grubber kick. Not a bad little kick either. The Tigers back in time to get it. So they managed to save the day there. And they last another 2 minutes without any further damage. We'll wait and see, because the young guns are going up a gear. No better time to really put some pressure on a side than when you've got them down at this end of the park. A bit of a dangerous pass there to Malone. Tanaloo over the top. Then low underneath. Exton. Still going to have to weather another onslaught here, I'd say. There's Meredith. He gets it away again beautifully. Up there to Stevenson. Stevenson through Farter. Let's play on. Play on it is. Up to McConnell. Here come the young guns again. Well, even when they string together a couple of passes, the Tigers, they just can't finish. It's back up initially, I think, by Stevenson.
And once again, Farter throwing that pass just behind the man, making it impossible for the ball to be taken.
And it was Meredith who started the raid, passed in the tackle.
Robert Tanaloo up the middle. He does pop it out the back as well. Keeps it alive up to Exton against his old teammates.
Coggill, Lee Coggill.
Coggill it is.
Yeah.
Smith the dummy half. Up there to Musprat, to McConnell. Again, second man play. They made a mess of it. Picked up nicely by the young kid. Is Tyrrell. Has he got the pace? Beautifully cut down by Barsley. Tyrrell making his debut, youngest player ever for the Tigers. They come straight up the middle again. This time it's Trevor Exton.
He looks pretty impressive, Tyrrell. I'd like to see him with the ball a little bit more, because he looks like he's got pace and skill.
Well, let's see if there's a bit of pace here this time. Chase here for Musprey. He looks like he's got it covered. Pretty casual as he looked around. Knew what he was doing. Malone wraps him up. The young gun slow to come back, but they won't be in any sort of hurry. They've got 20 seconds to shut down this first half. It's been very impressive from their point of view. 26-0. You can't do much more than that, but they have been helped by the Tigers. Make no mistake.
Absolutely. So it's just been all North Queensland in this first half. And the Tigers, not sure that their coach, Michael Booth, can do anything really to change it all in the second half. But you never know. Maybe he's capable of coming up with some stirring words as the ball is left behind him. But they're unable to regather. So the knock-on rule, just as the half-time hooter has gone, and the first half has belonged totally to the North Queensland Young Guns. 26-0 they lead the East Tigers after a really dominant performance in that first 40 minutes, and they'll be pretty difficult to beat in this game. Half-time, and North Queensland 26, beating the Tigers 0.
On the other side of this door could be anything. Faces that you recognize. People that you know. Cracker Entertainment. Say you did it. Drama by any other name. Questions that will be answered by fire. Be ready for the possibilities. Come what may.
Imagine a man sitting at home. Suddenly, he sees a note slide under the door. He opens the door and finds himself in the biggest room in the whole world. What's more, the whole world seems to be in it. Incredible inventions. A bunch of musicians playing their instruments. He shouts above the noise, "Where am I?" But then, a roller coaster whizzes by full of faces screaming and laughing. He jumps on board but lands back in his house. He looks down at the note, and on it there's something written.
Look at me, look at me, Kim, look at me, look at me.
They're back.
Kim, what are you doing here?
Those foxy ladies from Funky Fountain Gate.
Hi, I'm Sharon Strzelecki, hi.
Late Thursday.
How late are you going to be?
Might.
10 to be precise.
I say yes!
Kath and Kim on ABC.
Monday on Enough Rope, the curly man himself, Mr. Michael Leunig. Michael, tell the good people at home why they should watch.
I can't. What's the answer, Andrew? I can't think of the reason. Well, there's nothing else to do.
That's the best reason of all. Michael Leunig, Enough Rope, Monday night, 9:35. See you then.
Well, 26-0 at half-time in favour of the current reigning premiers in the Young Guns. Well, they couldn't have been more impressive, and the Tigers couldn't have been any worse.
Yeah, that's about sums it up, David. From the Tigers' point of view, look, their handling hasn't been good. They've kicked out on the full. They've missed some tackles that should have been made, particularly close to their goal line. Goal line defence has been non-existent at times, and they really haven't been able to put too much heat on the Young Guns through the forwards. On the other hand, the Young Guns with the ball have done everything right. They're moving it beautifully through the backs. Some great handling in a number of those tries.
Yeah, it was good
5
handling.
tries in all.
Yeah, it's been a good effort by the Young Guns. Their first try came right up the middle of the ruck. Great spotting by Clint Amos. The two markers were down. He went straight up the middle. Look how quick the hands were by Musprat. Back there to Barsley, who does like to back up from the fullback position. Zigged and zagged a couple of times, beat the fullback and gets across for their first try. The writing was on the wall.
Yeah, Amos comes out of dummy half, no markers, picks up Musprat, reacts quickly enough and realises that Barsley will always be coming through the middle of the ruck looking for the offload or the pass back inside or to support the break. Barsley does it well. In fact, East could have scored the first try of the match. McPherson went over, but he was ruled offside in front of the kicker. They haven't looked like scoring since.
No, that was the closest they got, and they really weren't real close on that occasion. Always a bad sign for a side when you're getting busted from a long way out. A lot of times sides have to graft up to the last 10 metres and sneak a try. Well, the Young Guns were busting them all over the park. Yet this next try started with a ruck play 70 metres out. Musprat, a little bit of a second-man play, keeping alive through Bolton. Bolton fires out through Hannay, out to Frizzo, who's the ultimate try-scorer. Back to Hannay, juggles, goes down, gets taken by Stevenson, the fullback. Good tackle. He stays in the field of play. Good quick play the ball. I was surprised McConnell didn't go wide here. Instead, he decided to use Frizzo back on the inside. A couple of players that overcommitted, trying to get to McConnell, and they're in for another long-distance try.
Hannay and Frizzo have combined well on that right side of the field. They've been dangerous a couple of times. Frizzo's looked good, scoring 2 tries. And, yeah, the inside ball from McConnell for the try there to make it 10-0. And, well, look, from early on, it was the Young Guns all over them.
Yeah, it was. They've been attacking very well. And, really, the Tigers didn't have the intensity. There's 2 of the next 3 tries to come came from very soft efforts in defence. The first one, the little halfback in Brent McConnell, goes between the 2 front rowers. Didn't really have to do that much. Faded, threw a bit of a dummy, stepped back on the inside. No one had closed out. He had enough pace to keep heading in that direction to get away from the fullback.
And McConnell went between Exton and Retchless here. It was a little too easy, particularly from the man on the inside, Exton. He has to be coming across to help out Retchless. There's always a chance that a player is going to get inside you, or at least halfway past you, and it's got to be picked up on the inside. And mind you, I've got to say, is still Retchless a front rower? He's always been a back rower, and he doesn't look like a front rower to me. He still doesn't have the size he can tackle all day.
Yeah, I think you hit on it pretty well, Warren. I was thinking during the first half, really the Tigers haven't asserted themselves in the middle at all, have they?
No.
You just seem to have lacked anyone who could even punch at the defence. You've got to set a bit of a platform, and I think that's one of a number of areas where they're falling down.
Yeah, they can't really get out of their own half through the front rows, the big men.
Exactly. 16-0 it was after 16 minutes. Let's have a look at the stats from the first half.
Well, penalties are running 7-2 in favour of the Young Guns. Now, most of them have been fair and square, well deserved. There was only one that I disputed. So far too many penalties being given away by the Tigers just to compound their woes. Completion rate only 8 out of 14 by the Tigers, 14 out of 23. Look at the number of sets the Young Guns have had, 23 to 14. Not that their completion rate has been perfect. Possession running the Young Guns' way 61% of the time, and East spending more time in their own half. In fact, it could easily be more than 53%. They managed to get down the other end late in the half to even it up a little. Overall tackles, 136 to 95. A lot of work being done by the Tigers. They've missed 24 tackles, and the Young Guns have made 5 line breaks to 1. That just emphasises what we're saying. It's all North Queensland.
It is. And Warren, of course, we mentioned in the opener that the shock departure this week of Darren Smith as not only a player, obviously, but as CEO. I mean, it's just got to have some effect on the side. It just seems to me they're just not on their game.
Well, it must be a shock. As I understand it, Darren Smith was picked to take part in this match and has made a decision midweek, and I'm not sure what the reasons exactly. Maybe Darren just felt it was time, but it must have knocked them around to lose. If he's not the captain, he's certainly their leading inspiration.
That's right. He basically ran the show for them, and even though he's getting on, he certainly knew all the shortcuts. Let's have a look at the next try. Good set move it was this time. A bit of a favourite by a lot of sides now. Let one go on the inside, one on the outside. Find Barsby looping around. Hannay knew well just to stop and draw, and then Frizzo, the big man, was not going to be stopped there by Tyrrell, and that was a good try.
Well, McConnell and Muspratt are playing good games at half and 5/8 here. Here's McConnell working it to the right through Barsley and Hannay. Hannay did well to keep the ball back, to pass it back to Frizzo. Frizzo is finishing beautifully. They're doing everything right. It was just a well-worked play there. Drew Bulgarelli in to Barsley, created 2-on-1 on the outside.
Yeah, they did it very well, but it's really been largely a training run for them. The next one was a very easy try as well. Just a pretty simple play. Big Benlow runs back into the middle of the ruck, straightens up. A couple of arms were just brushed aside, and he got across after a video decision to ground the ball.
Yeah, penalty put the Young Guns in position to attack, and that is pretty soft defence from McPherson on the inside, Tomlinson on the outside. Two of the smaller players, Huff and a hooker there, trying to stop Ben Lowe, but it didn't really dent his progress.
Well, and a lot of times you talk about what the coach is going to say at half-time. Boothie's got to give him the biggest rev of all time. I mean, it's been a poor first half.
Yeah, I did see some signs towards the end of the first half in defence. They were trying to pick their act up. Given some field position, they can at least make a fight of it.
That's right. It'll be a miracle if they can win it, but let's see what they can do in the second half.
They keep you healthy.
People who have pets tend to visit the doctor less often.
So why not return the favour?
So the white material is bone.
Get the lowdown on what's up with your pet.
So you think it's a psychological problem, do you?
For everything you need to know about pets and more.
They're really deadly.
The Pet Show, 6:30 Tuesday.
The votes are in, so here it is. Triple J's Hottest 100, Volume 13. 41 of the year's hottest tracks. Bernard Fanning, Wolfmother, Ben Lee, The Cat Empire, End of Fashion, Gorillaz and The Strokes. Triple J's Hottest 100 Volume 13. Get it now from ABC shops, ABC centres, music retailers and online.
On Talking Heads, meet best-selling author Bryce Courtney.
People think that it's, it's strictly autobiographical, which of course it isn't. More than anything else in the world, I wanted a family. This was the year television had arrived in Australia, and I pretended to be an expert at television. If I'm really lucky, I've got 10 years. And I've got so much to do in those 10 years that I'm appalled at the fact that I can't have 20 or 30 or 40 or 50.
Talking Heads, 6:30 Monday on ABC.
On Sunday Best, 7:30 Sunday, Holy Warriors.
The King of England seemed to possess superhuman power.
Then, at 8:30, in the Alan Clark Diaries, another scandal.
What do I do now?
And another promotion. At 9:30, the life of Vincent van Gogh.
In the night, Vincent drank. In the days, he painted.
3 hours of great viewing. Sunday Best, from 7:30 Sunday.
Welcome back to Langlands Park. Second half about to get underway with a 26-0 lead to the North Queensland Young Guns, and there are some Young Guns supporters here as well, which is good to see. Some North Queenslanders possibly living down here in the south nowadays, and an opportunity for you to see your local team in action tonight at Brown Park. The Comets take on Tweed Heads. The Redcliffe Dolphins meet Toowoomba tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock at Dolphin. That'll be a tremendous game. Burleigh against South Logan tomorrow at Pissy Park. Norths play Wynnum Manly at Bishop Park tomorrow, and Ipswich have the bye this weekend. If you can get a chance to go along and watch your team in action, why not? It's good footy. Referee. Wondering, where is Michael Wise? Oh, he's out there. Okay, waiting for kicking team. So a bit of a holder. Important things that you need for a football match nowadays. So the kicking tee has arrived, and shortly the second half will get underway. Josh Hannay will be kicking off as the young guns running left to right on your screen.
Stay behind the kick.
Hannay puts it high. The Tigers will have first use of the ball in the second half. How fired up will they be? What was said to them at half-time? And can they turn around their not impressive fortunes of the first half? Trevor Exton, the penalty. Well, that turns things around for them for a start.
One of the few, if not the first, for inside the 10 metres. So this will help the Tigers to at least get down the other end of the park the easy way.
Luke Brannigan belting it well downfield so that they'll start the action on the halfway mark. McPherson with the offload straight to Marty Allen is on for the Tigers. McPherson again keeping it alive through Brannigan. Here he is once more. Mark Meredith, keen, determined, but the defence pretty well quickly on him, including Clint Amos. Now maybe there's a chance through there for Bata, who's tackled about 10 metres out. Yes, it was. McPherson, a nice offload to Meredith. And Meredith is just 15 metres short of the line. Tigers looking good. Can they score a try now? Fata sending the pass across field. Brannigan, and Lockyer has his legs taken from underneath him. That was great work by Musprat, getting up and shutting it down. But still the chance out wide. Nice little kick through, but it's well covered by Barsley. And he's just in the field of play. Mick Crawley, the coach of the Young Guns, is on the sideline with Warren Boland.
Mick, welcome to the sideline. And look, they did just about everything right in the first half.
Yeah, we were very good in the first half, and it's something we've been building to, and we're hoping to continue this week, and looking forward to a strong second half.
Yeah. I guess the biggest test for them in the second half is to keep their concentration, get through this first 10 minutes and keep concentrating.
Yeah, well, it's been a problem for us with inconsistency in the game. We've started games well and then dropped off a little bit in the second half, and it's something we've spoken about at half-time. I'm certainly looking forward to a better performance this second half.
What pleased you most about the first half, or which individuals?
I thought we were very good in the tackle. I thought our wrestle was good, and we controlled the ground fairly well, and it's certainly something we've been working on at the Cowboys, and I hope we can continue it.
And given good field position, as you did have in that first half, the backs took full advantage.
Yeah, they did, but it was on the back of pretty good work by the forwards. Rob Tanaloo and Ray Cashmere were very strong early for us and got us going forward, built some momentum.
You've had a few players coming up and down between the Cowboys and the Young Guns. Is it easy to, are they always motivated, or are they sometimes disappointed when you get hold of them?
Well, I'd say the initial thing is to be disappointed, but then, certainly they start building from there, and every player we've had back's been really good, and they've worked hard to get in the top grade again.
All right, a great start to the season. Good luck.
Okay, thanks very much.
Mick Crawley, the coach of the Young Guns. It's an interesting question, isn't it, when they've got a team playing in the premiership, and when you are coming down, as Mick said, you would expect disappointment, but you would also expect that determination, David, once they do get on the field, because one place that they can take their frustrations out is on the footy field. And turn it around, and turned around by Mark Henry. Into the open goes Henry. Support there, nicely taken by Sweeney. Sweeney's over, and the Young Guns start the second half the way they played the entire first footy. They're scoring tries, and they lead by 30 points to nil.
They got out of jail a bit with that last pass. Looked like they'd bombed it. Great bust here from Mark Henry. We've mentioned he's got a wrap on him, signed from the comments. Have a look at him. Gets on the outside so easily of Malone. Races through. Nice ball carry. Sweeney coming back on the inside at the same time the pass was thrown, and he managed to shed a couple of would-be defenders. Brings around right under the sticks.
And with me is Michael Booth, the East coach. Michael, you deserve a medal just for turning up at 30-0, but look, it's very disappointing. What did you say to them at half-time?
Oh, mate, what we've got to do is get back and play a bit of football. We didn't have any ball in that first half, so, yeah, I mean, we haven't been able to, all we did was really defend. So.
And the problem was the defence wasn't great either.
No, very soft around the middle we've been, mate. They've destroyed us up the guts today, so if we don't get that right, well, we're going to be in a lot of problems for the second half.
As Hannay lines up this conversion, should be able to throw it over from there, and there are 2 more points. Michael, you said that you didn't have any ball. You certainly didn't have any field position either. Where do you start rectifying that?
Oh, well, hopefully the referee will put his hand our way in the second half. Every week we get flogged by the referees, you know what I mean? So inconsistent in the ruck areas, and I've complained about this for years. And the refs actually, unfortunately, ref one team. They don't ref us. We get flogged, the other teams get away with murder. So.
Which particular area? Holding on too long?
Oh, yeah, you have a look. All you got to do is have a look, watch how many they get in, how long they take to get off, and how long they let us. We've got to roll out of the road, then he penalises for stupid penalties, you know what I mean? So, as I say, that's up to the referees to sort that out, but it's fairly inconsistent week after week.
Okay, what else are you looking for in this half?
Mate, we just got to show a bit of character, get out there and start playing. If we can get a bit of football for a while, we might be able to start, you know, putting a bit of pressure on the North Queensland, but at the moment, they're sort of outplaying us.
Okay, Michael, thanks for coming down.
Mate.
And they're continuing to outplay them. Lee Coghill against his former team. The Tigers, a former Tiger, tackled 5 from halfway. And Musprat now, and once more ruled forward. Neil Sweeney was away.
Just as well, or Michael Booth would have been really broken up over that one. Boothie has always been one to speak his mind, as he did then. Here's the ball that was called forward, only marginally. But again, the worry for the Tigers is that the breach was there. I mean, they didn't need the forward pass. It was just part of the movement, but the gap was there. And the Tigers aren't closing much down at all, either up the middle or up the edges. Admittedly, we have said they've got a very young back line, 2 teenage wingers, and a fullback who's only 20. This time Farda wearing the number 10, but playing off the scrum.
It's interesting, after listening to Michael Booth's comments.
Well, the referee must have been listening too.
And just watching that last tackle, Clint Amos came in and just laid the hands on unnecessarily, the equivalent of a flop. I mean, you do start to look for things depending on who's talking to you, but there was one they could have got a moment back.
And now Meredith, the man who's been determined as anybody to score a try for the Tigers, is caught just short of it. McPherson keeping it alive through Lockyer. Have they got numbers out there? Brannigan can't offload. So the Tigers on the attack. Here they go now. Lockyer turning it nicely back inside there to Farda. And he's tackled just 5 short of the line now. Lockyer again. Lovely pass and a try to Cantoni. Mark Cantoni goes over. The Tigers have finally done it and showed a little bit of real spirit there in working towards that try. And Lockyer involved several times, firing the last pass to the try scorer, Cantoni.
Yeah, nice work from Lockyer. Just went to the line. Cantoni did well to run the gap. But on the back of the penalty, it just shows you just how important it is to get back-to-back sixes and get up into a good attacking position. First time they've really looked like putting a chink in the young guns' armour. And Cantoni, second season with the Tigers, it's a good try. Ran a good angle, ran into space. Players want to run into the nearest guy to opposite them, so Cantoni did well, and Lockyer, obviously he and his brother have practiced in the backyard in the early days, putting guys through gaps because it had a touch of Darren about it. Brannigan now to try and add the extras and at least get some respectability started in this scoreline. Brannigan hits it nicely, knocks it down the middle. We got it to 32-6.
You've got to remember that East lost Cameron Durnford, one of their main front rowers, just before the game, and Stephen Goodhue, the hooker. So 2 men out of their front row before play here today didn't help their cause. But that's beautifully laid on by Lockyer to Cantoni, ploughing through the hole. And that will give them some heart to go on with things from here. Look, from what I've seen of Luke Brannigan, and we've also seen a couple of good darts from Brett McPherson, I thought Donald Malone looked pretty sharp on his feet earlier in the half. If they can just get a bit of ball and some field position, they may be capable of making a few breaks. I don't think they're going to win the game, but they can, I'm sure, play a lot better than they did in the first half with the ball.
And Mark Meredith seems to have sparked them up a bit too, Warren, as you commented earlier.
Yeah, I thought he's played a good game in adversity. I mean, and that's when it's really tough to come forward and stand up and try and take them on. Interestingly, he's just been replaced 9 minutes into the second half. I would have thought they'd leave him out a bit longer after the break.
Warren, what about Steele Retchless? We haven't seen much field time from him, so you'd have to think that well, he's back on the field now there. So He's obviously fit enough to play, but he hasn't exactly spent a lot of time on the park.
No, well, he came off, you know, well before half-time. In fact, probably midway through the first half. I certainly, you could see, I mean, he was sweating profusely. It is hot and it's hard out there as well. But it's no doubting still Reckless's ticker. He'll have a go. There he is chasing through to make this tackle now, but he's more of a back row than a front row. And maybe there's, well, he was named in the front row originally, but maybe they're improvising. Could be short of front rows at the moment.
Young Guns try and move it wide straight away through Mark Henry, but the defence shuts him down. Malone was in there as one. Up the middle.
Surely you can hear me.
We Coggle inside the 10 metres, so we've got a couple for not square at marker, that one.
Second marker.
A couple of penalties in this second half.
Interestingly, Clint Amos has just come from the field, just given a break, and walking past me, David, he's as big as any other second rower going around.
Yeah,
and he's got the speed and the ball skill to go with it.
Yeah, he's
as a dummy half.
Very handy player, Clint Amos. He was with the Norths and Melbourne Storm organisation for a while, and subsequently picked up by the Young Guns Cowboys. Now can the Young Guns put their play together again? Robert Tannelly comes back on the inside. The defence not charging up though. He still manages to walk them back, although that he's ultimately been swamped. Not a lot of intensity in the tackling. McConnell to Muspratt, the playmaker. Turns it back on the inside to Hannay. Hannay pops the pass up. Muspratt into dummy half. Bolton to play it was. Up there to McConnell. McConnell looks across to Barsley. Barsley tries to slip through. Had a fin going as well. Nearly did get through. Rexless underneath. Still a couple to go here, so they're still under pressure. They work a big wide side. McConnell, nicely selected pass. He tried to flick it out the back as well, but couldn't. Low to play it. They work a blind side through Smith. He's a neat little play. This kid, that could be a try, or did he knock it forward? We're going to go to the video referee. I don't mind the look of this Scott Smith either, as he just stepped out of dummy half and dribbled it into the in-goal area. Did first man to it, ground it. We're still trying to ground it after that, so whether it was even still alive then will be of interest.
Scott Smith, the former South Slogan player, came up from Canberra, if I recall rightly, originally.
Mark Henry, the number 4, is the guy who, I don't think he did get it down though. Yeah, the players themselves have virtually decided that it's not a try.
We're going to have another look at it anyway. Here's the ball. Yeah, he just tried to get it, knocked it forward. So, just to be sure, the Tigers get a reprieve. They haven't had too many reprieves today. Can they do anything about it? The referee was the only one over there waiting for the decision. 26 guys ready to play. He has to do, of course.
I've got a couple of fans blowing up behind me saying, well, why didn't the referee see it? Everybody else knew that it was no try. But I suppose the referees want it. They don't want to get tries, decisions on tries wrong. And the video referee is there, and they'll get canned if they do get it wrong by not going to the video.
Oh, yeah, you're much better off making sure, aren't you? But now the Tigers are just looking more like a football team in the second half. You hope that they are able to go on with it. Here's Retchless. Caught on the halfway. Now on the left-hand side, this is Fata. Oh, Fata, again, in the end, had to kick. Nothing else to do. And they might even get it back. But the penalty goes against them again.
Tackling in the air. Mustn't have been much in that as well.
No, he's off the air. Someone tried to take him out.
Bit of a clumsy action. I thought it could have been play on. Really wrap him up, but technically probably correct.
It's a penalty that's in the book these days, David, but I think they need to apply it with a bit of common sense. That when you've got two players running for the ball, there is going to be a collision.
There was no danger in that at all either.
But the Tigers didn't deserve much.
Sweeney, beautifully done down that blind side. Not a lot of room to move.
The Tigers play on the 5th, on that last one. I don't know what went wrong, but there was no kicker available on the 5th.
They were lost. Tannelly should just keep moving it on, but instead the big fella goes straight ahead. Still got a good chance on this side. Muspratt's trying to organise something as second receiver. Let's see what he can do. Here's Muspratt now. Throws the dummy, goes himself. Had a couple of players in motion. The East defence had moved up quickly and therefore shut down any time you might have to select options. Ben Lowe straight up the middle is a good settler. Last tackle, they've got to be in a bit of trouble on the left, or they haven't got any playmakers left though, so they're going to come back right up to Musprat. Little grubber into the in-goal area, nicely picked up there by young David Tyrrell, and he just manages to stay in the field of play.
He's done everything right. Young Tyrrell, they've got 4 players under the age of 20 in the back line, the Tigers.
17-year-old Tyrrell, so that's a great effort. Young kid.
And this is quite a baptism, isn't it, against such an experienced team as the Young Guns. Still Retchless, right in the thick of the action, but look at that defence of the Young Guns. 3 of them up to ensure that he's shut down. Brannigan now, stepping nicely, able to keep it alive to Lockyer. That's the 5th tackle for the Tigers. They'll want a good kick from this, and Tomlinson's kick is not too bad. Sweeney really stretched. Oh, good kick. And Sweeney in a bit of trouble. It's knocked that on, no. Knocked it back.
It just never bounced for Sweeney. It stayed on the ground all the way.
It kept bouncing away from him, didn't it?
It just wouldn't bounce up. It just kept going away from him and toppling end over end and making it difficult to know when to grab for it.
Wide.
Young Guns now.
Wow. Your responsibility is bring the ball up.
Didn't lift the ball up with him, so Frizzo again complains to the referee. Penalty in possession. Again, he was up.
Well, he was up. He did not lift the ball off the ground, so technically that is a penalty.
And there is an example of the day it's been for the Tigers with Donald Malone. They just had the tap. They had 6 tackles to go. Malone takes it in and puts it down again.
And in a very frustrating day for the Tigers, and as we've said, it was an important match for them. They've still got to get their bye in this first round of competition, and inexplicably in the Queensland Cup we have 0 points for a bye, so it skews the table.
Arms around each other,
you just get stuck on your weekend of the bye.
There we go.
At the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference, but it does skew the table at any point in time.
Well, it skews the table against teams who are likely to win, David, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it makes no difference to teams who are likely to lose.
Which is more important for the top sides. You know, the table's there to have a look at who's in contention. And if you have or haven't had your bye, the table at the top end is just out of whack.
I know it gets under your
It does.
Gets under your goat.
Well, the NRL give it 2 points, and I just don't know why the Queensland Cup doesn't do the same.
Well, they're both being fair to each side. You either get 2 or you get none. and they all get it.
Maybe you give them 1 point. Big Robert Tannelly, he's had a good game. Does nicely to pop it back on the inside to Cashmere. Cashmere holds the pass up to Bolton. Bolton looks and decides not to offload. Perhaps could have. Time to offload with 3 on the outside. Smith, sharp pass there to McConnell. He's looking for space, but he's going to put it too deep, I think. No, he's not. Nice work in the end. Is that Newman? Yep. Another youngster, 18-year-old. Tigers have always been a breeding ground.
Oh, look at this defence from the Young Guns, driving them further backwards.
Trevor Exton going to have a spell.
And Meredith, I think, will come back on.
Warren, what we mentioned there at half-time sort of stands out for the Tigers. They haven't really got any big men that are doing the hard yards, have they?
Yeah, and there you see 2 passes wide is still Retchless taking it fairly flat. You know, I think you're better off having a short pass to a man hitting it hard and fast with a bit of impact. But he was almost flat-footed as he waited for the long pass.
Well, there it is. That was their 6 tackles, and they've had to kick ultimately from 12 metres out. So that sums it up. There's just no go forward there for the Tigers. Barsley.
And you can go back to some of that defence from the Young Guns down inside their own, inside the Tigers' 10, that really contributed to that.
Yep, and if you can get some good, strong defence early in a set of 6, it can set the scene for the whole 6. So important to get a bit of a roll on, and once you get the defence rolling back, Smith works it there to Cashmere. Right to the halfway line. Willing defence on that occasion. Very flat attack here from the Young Guns. Musprat pops up there to Strickland. The skipper. Cashmere's been busy in the last few plays.
He's looked pretty good, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a big lad. Said he's from the West Tigers, so he's a handy addition to the Young Guns outfit. Pass up this time to Henry. He's a handy addition. He does move well. This was the last play. No communication there. He could have done far better to finish that set of 6. Marcus Jensen.
Let's see how the Tigers go about this. 1 out of dummy half. Now here's the longer ball, cut out at least to Meredith. But by moving it wide, you're not going to punch them back. You're not going to bend them back at all, Dave. You're not going to go around them either. Their defence is settled.
Yeah, they really aren't being asked the question on many occasions.
You need that hit up with a quick play the ball and then someone out of dummy half, or a second hit up.
This guy's good, Meredith.
He's had a go.
He's had a go, and he's got a fend on both hands too. He doesn't mind changing hands as he goes through the middle of the ruck. Running a beautiful ball. Cantoni hits from the outside. Go! The young kid, the young 17-year-old Tyrrell. Held up. Well, bad luck at the end. He could have scored a try on debut. But nice pass. I think it was Brannigan for Cantoni. And then Tyrrell just couldn't get the ball down. Desperate defence in the end by Barsley. Got him on his back.
That's a lovely ball from Brannigan to create the hole.
Time back on.
Cantoni is a gap runner. He scored the only try for the Tigers and went into a gap nicely.
Let it go.
Out there to Jensen, pass on the outside to the number 90 McKenzie, and
he's tackled there, change over.
It was
tackle play.
It was always the 6th tackle play, so they really needed to do something there.
Play it.
There was a hesitation there when they had the overlap, but there was a hesitation. The ball needed to keep going quicker.
Certainly looked more enterprising in the second half, the Tigers, so at least they get a bit of a rap for improvement.
Well, 20 minutes gone and it's 6 all in the second half.
True.
So it is a much better performance by them. But they're really going to have to score a few tries because potentially they could still come back in this game.
Tanalu's had a good game to cart it up the middle again. 4th tackle, so the Tigers have done pretty well to keep them at bay. Musprat, long pass out there to McConnell. McConnell fires the ball up. That'll be Jimmy Anderson out there, plays it quickly. They work down a blind side. Barsley, well covered here by Lockyer, who's now dropped back to fullback, as his brother did last night.
Not a good end to the set for the second time from the Young Guns. Last time they didn't get to the kick, and that was a pretty ordinary kick, just pushing it downfield 20 metres.
Or maybe they've come back to the field a little bit, the Young Guns as well.
Always happens, doesn't it, Jerry?
Yep.
Big lead at half-time. You can bet that the leader will clock off early. I don't think they've clocked off, but they aren't quite as sharp, and the Tigers have lifted.
And the Tigers keeping this alive. Tyrrell now. David Tyrrell, he's looked pretty impressive, but running smack into Scott Bolton. His progress very quickly halted. Jamie Tomlinson wants him to be allowed to play it quicker. McPherson now. Here's Meredith. He's stepping, pushing, shoving, doing everything he can to get through the defence and then carrying them with him as he carts it into the Young Guns territory, but that's the 5th.
Got a bit of Carl Webb about him.
Indeed, Tomlinson, McPherson now. And little kick over the top from Brannigan is an interesting one.
Push.
Yeah, the push coming from Jensen.
You can shoulder in the vicinity of the ball, but you can't push. And no doubt, both and he's been walked as well. The ref's going to have a bit of a chat. You just can't put both hands on and give him a shove like that. Much as you want to.
5 you as well.
Well, I think initially Jensen probably blew up because here's Lockyer coming over to query it. Jensen ran into him accidentally as he backed off the ball.
You guys are getting frustrated. There was a push in the back. You're allowed to shoulder when going for the ball, but no pushing with the arm. He's gone through and pushed him, and then I've copped a mouthful from 2 of your players. That's where we've marched him 10. If you want to keep going, we will lose players.
The penalty counts 11-5, mate.
Whose fault's that?
You see here, Jensen there, he virtually runs into the back of Musprat. Then there was a push later. I certainly wouldn't argue with the penalty, but some of the Tigers fans are getting pretty angry here too.
I like the comment by the ref there, Michael Wise, when Lockyer said the penalty counts 11-5. The ref said, whose fault's that?
So now the Young Guns are in that danger territory again. Robert Tanalu, big and powerful. But nice tackle there from Jensen, right around his legs. McConnell now, Musprat holding up that pass. He's pretty good, Musprat, and almost into the clear.
Keep coming. Good.
Now Clint Amos Oh, kept alive nicely. Well picked up too by Jason Barsley. 15 short of the line. Amos on the outside there. Bolton. Scott Bolton's left it behind. Play on his head. Bolton, is he over? Try.
Yeah, he's be a try.
Yes, he's going to award the try. Scott Bolton of the Young Guns has scored the try. And now it's 36-6.
They're all adept at these little grubber kicks now. They work a little blind side here. Amos used Bolton, and Bolton just dribbled it in behind the defensive line, and then he made a mess of it in the attempted pick-up by, I think, Bill Gorelli, and surprised as he was, Scott Bolton picked it up after putting in the initial kick and gets his first try of the season. Scott Bolton, big strapping young lad too. Let's have another look at it. Goes to the line, grubbers it. Nice work, and then gets a second bite at it when it was attempted to be picked up. And he scores for the Young Guns for their second try in this second half.
He's been selected to play in the Queensland Under-19 selection match at Ipswich on next Sunday as well, Scott Bolton.
In the back row, yep.
He'll be in the white team to play against the maroon team. And Alex Talon will be one of his teammates. Alex is the son of Brad Talon, our very well-known stats man. And that kick just going to the right of the upright. So the score remains 36 points to 6.
He's a player with a good future ahead of him by the look of it, Scott Bolton, and here he is, the lock forward, just drops it onto the toe, and from there on just keeps following. Has a little bit of luck here as Bugarelli couldn't pick it up. It was a bit of a tangle, but he took the initiative, and you know, with the kick in the first place, followed it through and came up with a result. As we've seen throughout the game, a penalty leads to a try. Penalty that East were disappointed with.
And again, the Young Guns just extending that lead now. And it gives them the lead in the second half as well. And here's Cashmere. He's done a tremendous amount of work. And the most important work, I suppose, in a lot of ways for the big men, including Robert Tanalou, is this early driving of the ball out of the deep in your own territory. It's so important to get out there as effectively and as quickly and efficiently as you can. That's Dean Limpus, brought about 15 short of halfway, maintaining it on that short side to see if they can keep going. So fourth tackle on their halfway. Nice quick play the ball as well. Maybe they can do something with that. But they were unable to. That's the fifth and last. McConnell now for the kick. Oh, what sort of a kick's that? It's going to just roll across the dead ball line.
Yeah, not a good kick from McConnell. Put far too much on it. Found a bit of space. He seemed to change his mind in terms of the direction he was going to kick. Direction was fine. He got it into space, which he was after, but just got too much of a roll on. Allow the Tigers to come back to the 20. See what they can do through Meredith. Good charge to get it to... picks up the 10 metres that were potentially available. Marcus Jensen works a right-hand side play.
David, I know the refereeing's going to be contentious today. I sometimes think, and I'm talking generally here, not just about Michael Wise, but sometimes I feel referees feel they have to blow a penalty when something unusual happens. And remember when you're a kid, the referee just say, get over here, play the ball. Yeah. And, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. Just telling one team or other, play the ball, you get a fairer result sometimes than blowing a penalty.
Yeah, let's just get on with it.
I think they have to take into account, you know, what the intent was and who really got an advantage out of it sometimes.
Malone there being harassed in defence and didn't have a good hold on the ball, so he surrendered possession again, or the Tigers have surrendered possession again.
And I'll tell you what, the referee isn't the reason that the Tigers are losing here today. They may have some arguments on a few decisions, but they've been belted by the Young Guns here.
And again, as he said, whose fault is it?
Bolton works off the base of the scrum to McConnell, throws a bit of a dummy.
Another aspect, I guess, of that, Warren, is the fact that there's pressure on the referees to ensure that they do the job efficiently because they're judged too. But now there's a chance for Neil Sweeney. About 15 metres out. It's Cashmere. Oh, I thought for a moment he might have been able to offload that pass. There was plenty of attention on him. You can see there how he was holding it in just the one hand. Musprat doing well to keep that alive, and Musprat backing around, linking up with McConnell. Back inside now for Barsley.
Better defence there. Good set piece from the young guns, but it was shut down nicely with two front rowers. Tomlinson and Retzless in there.
Bugarelli, not Bugarelli, who is it? It's Tanaloo. He's very close. But he's held up over, I would assume.
He might have reached down to try and score this, you know. He was certainly held up high.
It'll be the 5th tackle if it isn't.
Does he actually almost from a standing position bend and thrust the ball to the ground? A good effort from Tanaloo, who's played strongly today if he has. Let's have a look at it. He's got plenty of attention. There's the ball close to the ground.
What'd you say?
Hand came in. Oh, he's definitely got it down.
Yeah, he's got the point of the ball on the ground.
Work from the big man.
Absolutely. Robert Tanaloo. Seen him playing for Norths. And moving up to the young guns and scoring a try. So it's 40 points to 6 now in favour of the young guns, and they are indeed starting to rattle up the points.
Pretty simple try this really. Amos out of dummy half. Just a straight run. 2 players hit him, but not with enough force. Really a pushing from his own teammates, and then Tanaloo does well. Suspended over the try line. Just been able to look down and see the ground and say, well, I can just free my hands here and get this to ground. I don't have to do any more than that. Nicely done from Tanaloo.
I noticed that Kev Stevenson wasn't one of those defenders. I'm sure he was happy to think that somebody else had the job that time after having Tanaloo just smash into him earlier in the game.
He was a Broncos colt, Tanaloo, too, so he had a lot of bad luck with injury as a young man, and great to see him back now. Hannay drills it through the middle, and this is a pretty handsome score, 42-6. Handsome if you're a young gun.
Yeah, Robert Tanaloo weighs in at 114 kilograms. He's all but 2 metres tall. There's plenty of him, and they just can't handle it. The drive, he keeps driving, fighting for the line, and finally gets it down. And Mounts adds another try to that big scoreline, 42-6. Tanaloo, say David, Broncos colt. I think he played with West, the Clydesdales, Norths, and now with the Young Guns. I don't think I've thrown in an extra club there.
No, I think you're right, Warren. And what it really means is the Broncos had a look at him, and he obviously got some bad luck through injury. Then the Storm had a look at him when he was at Norths, and now he's with the Cowboys. So he can. I've got no doubt he'll make it, Tanaloo. I think he's got all the attributes. A couple of really bad injuries as a young man. There's Musprat putting that one on the deck.
Yeah, likewise, I think if Tanaloo really knuckles down, gets to his maximum fitness and gets the best of his abilities out on show, I think he's capable of playing the top level as well.
An unusual error in this match from Musprat. He's played really well for the Young Guns. It's given the Tigers a chance here.
Seconds get in tight.
10 minutes left in the game. They're down 42-6. And now we've got a complication with the scrum.
Okay, let's go 2 hands. Feed it. Feed it. Out.
Here we go. McPherson. Lockyer. Lockyer. No way through. Jamie Tomlinson, a dummy half. And linking up with McPherson and then Brannigan. So the Tigers may be out right. There's a chance for Tyrrell. He's in, is he? He scored. Good work. David Tyrrell gets to celebrate a try. He scored a try on TV. And all the family would be pretty happy to see that. The Tigers in, it's 42-10.
He's had a couple of chances. He was knocked in a touch a little while earlier, I think held up. And nice work there from David Tyrrell. Youngest player ever to make his debut last week for the Tigers. Nice work too. He was headed toward touch, stepped back on the inside, was extremely effective. Totally wrong-footed the defender in Frizzo. And young David Tyrrell, first try of the day, first of the season, first of the career. Won't be his last, I'd say. Great effort from the young fellow to come down a very tight blind, and then the step was what was impressive. He could have been headed for touch without that, and totally beat the defender, almost untouched by that particular defender, and comes up with a try.
Yeah, even though the scoreline is not good for the Tigers, he'd have to be feeling pretty pleased with himself for coming up with that try. and it's a pretty difficult conversion attempt for Brannigan from the sideline, but he's given it a go, and it's gone to the left of the uprights. Score remains 42-10 in favour of North Queensland.
Well, smart work by the Tigers down that short side. As Tomlinson realised they weren't set, and Frizzo actually had his back to the players. He was trying to get back on side, and as he looked over his shoulder, he came Tyrrell, and Tyrrell was able to turn back on the inside of him and step over the line. And good work from Tyrrell. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked pretty good today. Hasn't shown any sign of nerves, and has done more than everything you could ask of him.
Just a reminder that if you enjoy our Saturday afternoon coverage and you're unable to see it at some stage, well, you can actually catch it again on Thursday evenings, round about 11 o'clock on ABC2. That's the ABC digital channel. So if you haven't got a digital set-top box, they don't cost you very much. And there's the Young Guns coach, Mick Crawley, looking pretty happy with himself, as you can imagine he would be. So this game is replayed on Thursday night on ABC2. The Tigers now with a little bit of spring in their step after just scoring that try. But they trail by 32 points. They do get a penalty, though. That'll please their coach.
You won't be real happy with much else that's occurred today, though. His side didn't have a lot of spark right from the start. And they're always at the mercy of the Young Guns, who are a very talented side with a good blend of youth and experience. This guy has got plenty of ability, Meredith. Oh, had the hands free again. Was just wrapped up in the end.
You keep expecting that he's going to make a break soon, don't you, Meredith? Because he really hits the line with determination. McPherson's through. Try coming up. Try to Marty Allen, is it? Or is it Marcus Jansen? Tomlinson has scored it. Well, there you go. Jamie Tomlinson backing up that break by the halfback McPherson, and Jamie Tomlinson has scored the try.
Back-to-back tries by the Tigers. You'd have to think the Young Guns have put the cue in the rack. A little bit of a dummying run up the middle by McPherson, and this is what the Young Guns were doing to the Tigers' defence in the first half, cutting them to ribbons. Well, this time, little McPherson, bit of a dummying run. Defenders just holding off for a moment with players in motion, and Jamie Tomlinson supports nicely like a good hooker should, straight up the middle of the park. And the Tigers, well, putting an element of respectability back into it, but it hasn't been a good day for the Tigers.
Conversion successful, and it's 42 points to 16.
Plenty of tries being scored today. And Tomlinson, he began the game working hard. Jamie Tomlinson. I mean, none of the Tigers have exactly covered themselves in glory today, but he's worked hard all day.
It's been a fairly warm day, so both teams would be feeling the effects of it now. There's been plenty of water running going up there to ensure they stay hydrated. It's the Young Guns that are really used to these sorts of conditions. That thing's pretty big.
It's huge.
All the way out of the full.
Back in the old days when Langlands Park used to be a 100-yard ground. Definitely now 110. I've been reliably informed, but in the old days it was 100 yards, and a lot of visiting kickers got caught out putting the ball over the dead ball line. In the old champs, what's that, Jerry, 100 yards, about 90 metres or so, so it was a bit off-putting for a few sides. Ian Douth had a bit of trouble, I know that. Douthie was flat out kicking them that short.
And when you made those breaks, it didn't seem too far to go, I suppose, David.
They still caught me, Jerry.
Well, Tigers have lost the ball here, and the Young Guns have come up with it. It's Dean Limpus playing the ball, and Lee Coghill hasn't seen a lot of the ball in this game. Lee Coghill playing against the Tigers, for whom he used to play. Quinn Amos has certainly done plenty of work in this win by the Young Guns. And so has Ray Cashmere. He's been impressive. Big man. Oh, he tried to quick play the ball, didn't play it properly. But he gets the penalty.
Yeah, hands on the ball there, just trying to disrupt the quick play the ball. The person in there to knock it clear. Great chance for the Young Guns to, they won't get to 50 on this set, but they could certainly get to the high 40s. Kashmir does well to keep it alive. The pass up to Ben Lowe. Got him a bit thin on the left-hand side. Musprat, the playmaker on that side. McConnell on the right. They're going to come right to McConnell. Back on the inside, Spilt. Couldn't be handled by Lee Coggle. And for mine, the boys have bundied off. The referee's deciding, oh no, touch judge on for a report.
Just for high shot against the opponent.
Okay.
We'll have a look at later on.
You want a report?
Yeah,
16 East, come in there for a second.
There'll be a penalty here going to the Young Guns with Tomlinson called over for a high shot.
Back it up. We don't need you. We don't need you. We're not talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Brendan, talk to me.
Yeah, careless forearm to the opponent in the head area.
Okay.
Just over your
All right. We're going to place that on report. It's in back play. Don't do it. Silly penalty.
So it was in back play, touching.
Thanks.
Bit of confusion. Always good to plead ignorance initially. Video will tell all. This time, Young Guns, one last chance, you'd think. Nice up there to support from Limpus. Limpus going close. Amos. Connell standing deep. Straight up there to the big fella Lee Coggle playing against his old club.
Hold. Quiet.
McConnell.